All right, good morning, everybody. Hey, just posted a video back on Saturday. It was my first, I guess you'd say, official duck hunt. I hunted from my kayak. I didn't get very good video, and so basically, I just had a couple of still shot or video clips of myself sitting in the boat, and then I had one duck that I was able to harvest, and it was a mallard hen. And since it was my first, official hunt out on the water and all that kind of stuff with the decoys and all the gear that you had to have to, and the calls and all that. Uh, anyway, I took one of the mallard hen's wing feathers, and I don't know, it might be kind of goofy, but I'm going to, since she was my first official, you know, duck from an actual hunt. I'm gonna attach it to I'm gonna put her feather on my call lanyard. All duck hunters wear one of these, and I'm making my own. You can buy them, but I'm going to construct my own. I took a piece of leather cord and used some paracord, like parachute cord, and attached it to the call, and then I used string from the tops of my feed sacks, like the cattle cubes and all that hog feed stuff that we feed, and I wrapped that paracord with it to tie it off. So I'm going to do the same thing with the feather. I'm going to try to figure out a way to attach it to this lanyard so I'll always have it. And it was a good memory, and I just, I'm thankful for the duck and the gift to go and hunt and get food and stuff like that, and just get out in the woods and have fun. So I'm going to try to make a video of me attaching that feather to this lanyard. What I've got is a staple, pretty thick staple. You could use probably a straight pin or something like that, but this is the idea that I'm thinking. I'm actually going to push this staple through the the quill part of the feather, I guess you would call it, and that way I'll have a little bit of stuff sticking out on each side, something for string or whatever to wrap around. You could use whatever you got or whatever you want to go buy, but I use feed sack string on a lot of stuff. It's pretty durable. Can't hardly break the stuff. I mean, it's pretty stout, so it should last and hold up, through weather conditions and all that kind of stuff, at least for a while. I don't expect it to last forever, what I call forever. I mean, the plan anyway is to, like I say, pierce this feather with that staple, and then I'll use that as an anchor point for the string, if it wasn't clear the way I was saying it a minute ago. Okay, that's got a knot in it, but I can cut it off. Alright, so here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to come up here where the hollow part is, the feather's hollow. I'm going to try to poke that through there, hopefully without tearing it up. Probably stab it into my finger. That's probably what's going to happen. Okay, that's stouter than what I thought it'd be, so I'm going to have to lay it down flat. Okay, I pierced it, went all the way through. Okay, see how I have a piece of metal sticking out on either side now? That should give me something to attach the the string too to keep it from falling off. You know, I think if you just wrapped it around the quill there, it would probably just slip off. So this should give it an anchor where it won't just pull off, you know, because when you're hunting and stuff, you might hang it on something or something like that, and just it would just tear it off. So hopefully I can that'll be enough anchor that it won't just fall off while I'm out hunting again, you know, when I get to go again. All right, so I got my call lanyard here. I've got a 6-in-1 Duck Commander Drake, well, it's a Drake whistle or just a whistle. You can do several different ducks with it, you know. There's the teal, I think it is. I'm still learning all the different sounds, so I've been practicing a little bit, but you can do a and I think that's a teal. I don't know if it's just the green wing or if it's the blue wing also. Then you've got the pintail. I think it goes like this. Something like that. I still haven't mastered it, but it's similar to that. Then you got the Drake mallard, which is the female. This was a female, so she actually quacks, but the males make a they make a sound similar to that. I'm sure I'm not doing it exactly right, but anyway, that's the 6-in-1 whistle. You can do a dove and a quail with it too. Then I have a flex tone. This is just one of the cheaper calls. I'm just trying to get something to learn on, you know. I'm sure an expensive call makes a better sound, but the mallard hen, you know, she actually quacks. So it'd be like this. Something similar to that. I'm still learning, so, but I think I'm on the right track. But anyway, I'm gonna attach this feather probably right between these two calls, right in this area. I have the mallard hen call down on the very bottom of the lanyard and the whistle up, you know, within hand's reach once it's hanging around your neck. But I'm gonna attach this feather right in this area. So I'm gonna set that call right there. Hopefully it won't fall off and give me a bunch of trouble. Probably gonna get my scissors. Keep a pair of scissors with me at all times, if I can find them. They're getting kind of dull. I've cut everything in the world with them, but anyway, I'm gonna cut that knot off of there because I feel like it's gonna give me trouble. Okay, so knot's gone. So anyway, I'm gonna give myself quite a bit of slack here. I'm gonna lay that string down. I'm gonna set that piece of staple or metal, whatever you use. Like I say, you can probably use a straight pin or whatever. And then I'm gonna go around this like so. And I'm gonna do that a couple times just to get a good anchor. This may not work, I don't know. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, if you will. Know what I mean? Trying to learn on the fly and make y'all a video. I'm sure it's corny as hell, but I don't care. I'm learning stuff as we go. So, but anyway, that couple of wraps around each side should anchor it pretty solid. You know, I kind of crisscrossed it there like so. And like I say, I want to leave myself enough slack to tie off and wrap and all that. So I'm gonna go around one more time. That should be plenty stout. Okay. I didn't bring any of the dang paracord with me, but I don't really know that I want it, because I don't need it where it's flexible, you know, where I can pick it up and call or anything. It's just going to be hanging there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and tie that off, put a knot in it after I've wrapped it around that staple, like so it don't come off of there while I'm trying to figure out how to attach it. So there's that. That should be pretty well anchored. Go ahead and put 2 knots in it. Just, I don't know what kind of knot that is, but don't really care. Just a knot. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to start wrapping it around the quill of the feather till I get it all covered up. Like so. Hope I'm in video shot there. Might even go down and around a couple times just to give myself some substance there, some meat, if you will. Okay, so I left a little tip. Like I say, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm just doing it by the seat of my pants. So then I'm going to bring this back up here like so, even with the end of the feather, and then I will try to tie it off again, and hopefully we're still going to have enough to wrap it around the leather on the lanyard. Let's see, I'm going to get this knot started. I'd like to get all the slack out of it if that's possible before I put the old crush with the knot on it. See, that string will dang near cut a feather in half, it felt like. I just heard it pop, so you know it ought to be pretty secure. And I'll again double knot that. All right, I feel like that might hold. See, I'm pulling, well, see that slipped right there. It may just slip off the dang end of it. Yeah, let's do this, okay? We went to the end. Now let's bring it back around the staple again on both sides. Well, that's gonna look ugly. Let me go around this side. Like so. Then we'll take this piece across the other direction. Wrap it twice. We've got a lot of tail on that side, so we can do it that way. Okay, now I'm gonna take and I'm just gonna go one wrap because that's gonna be too much string on that. Lay it down again, tie another knot. After we come back around the staple there. And we'll go ahead and put 2 in it again. All right, so that's probably, that should have kept it from sliding off, yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to try to poke that back under that string there, and I'll probably just use my scissors to push it under there with. Maybe should have brought my glasses. Yeah, that ain't gonna. I see the gap, but I can't. I know I have my heater on in the truck, and man, it's getting hot. But if I can get underneath that, and I'll just push it back, there it goes. And I'll grab it like that. And that should keep it along beside the feather, where whenever I wrap it to the lanyard, almost now it's gonna get hung whenever. Oh crap, drop my scissors. But I can get them, never fear. Okay. All right, so now, like I said, I'm gonna put it right in this area here. Oop. So I'm gonna take and lay the feather up there. And I want it to where the, you know, the pretty colors of the feather, the purple side. She has purple here with white tips and kind of a darker color on that side. But now I'm gonna take and put it here like so. And I'm gonna attach it loosely here to begin with. And then I'll come in with all this extra string and wrap that, put a wrap around it, and then tie it off again. So we went over. So like I say, I'm gonna have it loose, just a loose knot. Because I want the feather to be out this way, like so. So the knot, I'm gonna lay these scissors on that feather because it keeps sliding around. All right, there's a slack that I needed. Okay, so put a knot. Like I say, I'm gonna leave it kind of loose. I'm gonna pull it to where the feather comes almost up to it. Maybe a little bit tighter than that, like so. Then I'll put another knot, and that should keep it that distance from the leather on the lanyard. Just like that. Okay, see? Now we've got where the tip of the feather, the quill part of the feather, the tip of it's just barely touching the lanyard. We're all secured here. Now what I'll do is I will pick that up like so. Take my short piece of slack, and I'm gonna put it between my fingers also. And I'm gonna take my long piece, go back around and around and around. I think the first few wraps ain't gotta be pretty. You can just, and I'll probably go around that staple again. Back around and around and around. Get back out here to the end of the thing. I apologize if you can't really see on the video, but I'm gonna keep wrapping. Then I'm gonna go around the leather again with the long piece of tail, piece of excess string, whatever you wanna call it. Pull it back through, slip it up to where the feather's at. Then I'll probably go back around it again, like on this side, come back through the lanyard again. So that gives me double string on both sides of the feather. So then you're left with something that looks like that right there. Okay. So what I'll do here, like I say, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but this is how I'm gonna do it. Now I've got it all pretty held tight in my hand. Again, I'm gonna go back around through the lanyard again. The idea, in my opinion, is to keep it anchored where it doesn't slip up and down on the leather, because I don't want it getting down there where my caw's at. Then when I reach down to grab a caw, get a feather in my mouth. That's not what I want. So again, back through. My plan is to cover that leather right there completely with string, where you can't see the leather underneath the string. So I'm gonna go around and around it, both sides of the feather. And I'll come back across here like so. Keep all the time keeping that little excess piece of string out. That's the hard part, because eventually I'm going to tie it off with that. So, but you get the idea, I hope. Back through here, back around there. Just basically crisscrossing over the feather and over the leather a number of times. Like I say, I just don't want the leather exposed underneath the string. All right, so that's what I've got wrapped around. Now what I'll do is I'll take that little piece of excess that we had. I'll start to make my knot, hopefully. I'll pull that through there, then I'm gonna cinch it down tight like that. So here's what I'm getting left with. It will be double knotted also, just like that right there. Okay, that's pretty much gonna be it. I don't know. Then I'll take a pair of dikes and I'll clip that staple where I can just, this long piece of staple will actually come off. I'll leave just a little bit, just about like I got on this side, and I'll take a pair of pliers and fold them back around and then squeeze it into that string, and that should be secure from now on till I hang it on something and it falls off. I'm gonna cut this excess string off. I'm gonna leave a little bit of tail. I think it'll fray out and it'll look kind of rugged and just different, you know. But anyway, that was nearly an entire piece of the top of a feed sack, so that's quite a bit of string on there. Doesn't necessarily mean that more string don't mean stronger, but I used it to cover the quill and the leather here where it's attached, and I think that's pretty secure, folks. Like I say, I don't know if anybody else does that, but I wanted to remember that duck and remember that hunt, and that you know, when I go out hunting again, I can look at that feather and remember that time that I had and that duck that I was able to harvest. So anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna keep trying to learn all this duck hunting stuff, man. Maybe I can, when I get a flat bottom boat, I can make some better videos and actually have some action shots and show you the decoys out in the water and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you. All right, folks, thank y'all for watching. I want to ask you to please like and subscribe, become a part of the herd, and hope you have a great day. Thanks again.